Let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're exploring something called the roofless palace: logic, design, and ultimate purpose. We're going to unpack a really striking philosophical analogy from our source text, one that actually questions the very meaning of the universe itself. It uses this seemingly simple, almost fable-like story, but it dives into some of the most profound questions of human existence. It's totally going to challenge our everyday understanding of design, purpose, and the logical consistency of creation.
So I want you to picture this breathtakingly magnificent structure. And we're not just talking about a nice building here, we're talking about an absolute masterpiece. Imagine an architect who has poured just unimaginable, microscopic care into every single detail of the foundation and the walls. Picture the highest quality, premium materials painstakingly sourced from all over the world. There are precious, irreplaceable ornaments everywhere, and literally thousands of intricate, flawlessly crafted carvings on every single stone. The dedication, the talent, and the sheer time invested in this creation, it's absolutely staggering to even think about.
But here's where we hit a massive, jarring contrast. After all of that meticulous effort, after the thousands of hours and priceless materials, the builders simply forgot the roof. I mean, imagine spending billions on a breathtaking architectural masterpiece and just forgetting to put a roof on the whole shebang. It sounds completely ridiculous, right? You've got this unmatched beauty completely exposed to the elements, so the very first time it rains, the water just pours right in. Those precious ornaments are instantly ruined, the beautiful carvings get eroded by the mud, and all those premium materials immediately start to rot away. The entire project is just left to decay into nothingness.
Which naturally forces us to ask a pretty critical question, one that sits right at the core of our source materials argument. Is it logical for a master builder to finish such careful work in an utterly absurd way? I mean, would any true master craftsman, someone with the genius and patience to carve thousands of intricate designs into solid stone, intentionally let their masterpiece just rot away in the very first rain? Well, of course not. When we look at human behavior and just basic logic, the answer is a massive no. It entirely contradicts the nature of a master builder to abandon their greatest work like that.
Which brings us to Section 1, the principle of consistency. Extracting the philosophical logic from the absurdity. Let's see how our source text, which is known as the 10th truth, takes the sheer absurdity of this roofless palace and actually extracts a really profound, airtight philosophical standard from it.
The 10th truth lays this out super clearly. It asks, is it possible that a power working with such wisdom and care would build a palace with thousands of carvings, but no roof, letting everything rot in vain? It's asking us to deeply consider the mindset of a creator. How could a power capable of such immense wisdom and microscopic care simultaneously act like a foolish, completely absent-minded builder who forgets the most basic protection? It's arguing that profound wisdom and complete vanity are mutually exclusive. You just can't have highly intentional design operating right alongside reckless abandonment.
So the crucial point here is the text's assertion that a being with infinite wisdom inherently cannot produce a meaningless outcome. The source frames this as a pretty beautiful formula of absolute logic. The text states, absolute goodness brings goodness. Absolute beauty brings beauty. From the owner of infinite wisdom, nothing meaningless ever comes. Think of it kind of like a fundamental law of physics but for philosophy. Absolute goodness naturally results in goodness. So it mathematically follows that from a source of infinite wisdom, you logically cannot get an outcome that is inherently meaningless. The underlying nature of the creator dictates the ultimate nature of the creation.
And that brings us perfectly to the principle of consistency. This is the logical standard stating that if a master's high level of skill and care is visible in every single detail of a work, they will not leave the project meaninglessly unfinished or doomed. We actually use this logic every single day, right? Like, if you hire a master contractor who painstakingly lays perfectly level, custom tile in your new bathroom, you logically deduce they aren't going to just leave the plumbing disconnected to flood the house. Extreme care during creation logically demands a purposeful conclusion.
Moving on to Section 2, the ultimate purpose of creation. Applying the palace analogy to the universe itself. Now we're going to pivot from the metaphor of the palace and apply this exact same logical framework to the immense vastness of our own universe.
Because just like that breathtaking palace, our universe displays incredible care and staggering, intricate design. From the impossibly perfect balance of cosmic forces holding spinning galaxies together, all the way down to the microscopic, data-rich complexity of human DNA replicating in your body right now, the carvings on the stone are quite literally everywhere you look. It's awe-inspiring. And according to our principle of consistency, this level of meticulous design means the universe simply cannot culminate in a meaningless, empty end. It just doesn't logically track that a story written with such impossible precision and scale would suddenly end in absolute nothingness, exactly like a palace left to rot in the rain.
The source material anchors this philosophical logic with a specific theological perspective, directly challenging the concept of a purposeless human existence. It quotes the Quran, asking, "Did you think that we created you in vain, and that to us you will not be returned?" It's a direct, really powerful application of that roofless palace analogy. It asks you to look at your own incredibly complex existence, your consciousness, your life, and realize that being created in vain would be the exact equivalent of building that magnificent palace without a roof. For the source text, it blatantly violates the fundamental logic of a wise creator.
I want to leave you with this final thought today. Have you ever been bothered by the stark contradiction between extreme care at the beginning of a process and total neglect at the end? Take a second to reflect on how you perceive the balance of meticulous care and ultimate meaning in your own observation of life. When you look at the incredibly intricate design of the world around you, does it make any logical sense for it to be a roofless palace? Keep that in mind the next time you look closely at the details of the world around you.